All right, we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. This is our February 6, 2017 regular town council meeting. If I could have a roll call, please.
Morris.
Yes.
Cole. Here. Edwards.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Passanello.
Present.
Aiken.
Here. All right. We have the privilege of having Pastor Mark Brady from Park Valley Church here to give our invocation. Matter of fact, you just want to give us maybe a little update on the church too, Mark, before giving us the invocation, and then we'll all stand for it.
It is an honor and privilege to always be asked to be here, guys, and I just thank you, Council, for what you're doing for our community. We always say at Park Valley Church, how do you show that you love somebody, or how do you spell love, and it's just T-I-M-E. So the time that you all dedicate to this incredible community is just a blessing. For everyone that's here tonight, thank you, Dee Dee. And for everyone that's here tonight, I just wanted to know that our church loves you. It's an honor and privilege that Judy and I live in this community. We live in Dominion Valley. Been here for 12 years. And our church is growing. We're less than 13 years old. We're getting close to 3,000 members in our church. And the exciting thing is we're building a new building. And hopefully we're going to be moved in, early 2018, Lord willing. But the walls are going up, and we just want to be a church for this community. Whenever there's a need that needs to be met, we just feel like God's positioned our church in a great town to help meet the needs of Haymarket in the Gainesville area. So I just want you guys to know that you're loved, and we're here for you.
All right. Also, Pastor, if you could remember William Murphy, Councilman Murphy from Dumfries, that passed away this weekend. He was an active town council member that the people, I'm sure, in Dumfries, our thoughts and prayers are with them and their family.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, let's pray. Lord, we thank you that you came to this earth as a humble servant. And the best example that we can resemble is following that lead, as being humble servants. Lord, I thank you for this community. I thank you for these leaders that are dedicating their time to make Haymarket a great town. Lord, I pray that you just would give them wisdom in 2017. God, just give them clarity. Give them a sense of peace. Give them the knowledge to lead this town. And thank you for their time. Thank you that they show this community love. And Lord, I just lift up the Murphy family. This incredible servant that poured his life into the Dumfries town. And Lord, I know that family's hurting right now. And I just pray that there's a church, there's friends, there's families that are pouring themselves into that family to help them get through this difficult time. And we don't know why things happen the way they do, but we have to understand that you're in control of everything, that you love us so much. And Lord, I would pray that you would take that situation in the Murphy family and turn it around to glorify you and use it for greater things. So bless that family, Lord. Just let them know that this little town of Haymarket is praying for them and they truly are loved. So go forward tonight, Lord. Use the knowledge and wisdom of these people that are overseeing this incredible town. And for everyone that's in this room tonight, Lord, that we be changed people when we leave here today. That we be a town that's united. And, the common denominator in that is love. So, Lord, thank you for this tonight. Lord, just go forward, and we just give you all the praise in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. We can continue standing and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Our next item on the agenda is our citizens' time. At this time, we invite citizens to come up to the podium there and just give their name and address for the record. If we have anyone tonight that would like to come up and talk. Sure. Absolutely. First of all, welcome. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.
My name is Amy Alanchi. I currently live at 6776 Jefferson Street, just minutes away from the town here. The reason I'm here today is just to put a face with the email communications that most of you are familiar with that have been ongoing since October of last year, and this is due to the safety and the maintenance of Jefferson Street. As the town grows, traffic is increasing. There is the concern of safety of our families on the streets. What I'm looking to do is to continue working with the town, along with law enforcement, in finding ways where we can better that street and better the street, along with just making sure we're safe. There's been several injuries on the street. We don't want to lead to a fatality on the street in the future. I have been hit. I've had my animals hit. There's also been other injuries on the street. So whatever I can do, I'm here to volunteer my time. I'm also in communication with the residents on Jefferson Street, keeping them up to date on who can or cannot assist in volunteering. And whatever I can do, I would be happy to do so, and working with the town, law enforcement.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And just one other thing, I just want to say thank you for John for coming over to my home over the weekend and talking with me, along with Joe. I appreciate that. Along with Kimberly Murray for talking to me this week and addressing the communications, and most important, Chief Lance bringing the residents along with the town of Haymarket and the council together to improve the safety and maintenance of the road.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You very much. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anybody else would like to address the council? Okay, at this time, we'll move on to our next item. We're going to move consent item A down to agenda item A above Dominion Power. And we'll just have the minutes under consent. So with that, entertain a motion for,
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting September 8th, 2016, regular meeting December 5th, 2016, special meeting December 30th, 2016, regular meeting January 3rd, 2017, special meeting January 25th, 2017, and the special meeting February 1st, 2017.
okay, motion on the floor.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Cole. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous. All right. Go to our next item is our department reports. We have Joe Barbeau giving our building department. Yep. Probably just over the podium there, Joe. Thank you.
It's a New England tie.
Yeah, I think he had his New England hat too somewhere.
Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate being here. Very short report this past month, though I finally got it into the format you folks have been looking for. I appreciate your indulgence and your patience while I recovered and could get this taken care of. We are in a quiet time right now. The only true ongoing project that we have is the Iceplex, which is moving along nicely. The structure is up at this point, and now they're working on the rink itself, which will occupy the next few weeks before they can start moving on to wrap the project up. I do expect an uptick in the town in terms of building over the next few months. I am aware of a few different projects coming up. Nothing that I can really speak to right at this moment in time, but a couple of good-sized commercial projects that will keep us going, and we're almost into, let's face it, deck season. So, beyond that, does the council have any questions for me at this time? I would like to add that I'm finally starting to feel strong and healthy again, and I appreciate your concern throughout.
Good to hear.
Mayor, Joe, thank you for being here. In regards to the old fire station update, it says that you did an exterior inspection. Have we done an interior inspection?
No, I don't have right of entry to a structure like that unless I have an issued permit or unless I'm invited in by the ownership. So until the end, we have had a sit-down meeting with the ownership as to going forward from here. I will be producing a letter in the next week or so to reflect some of what I found for the ownership of the building and what they want to do going forward. But I have not been inside the structure as yet. I think they're a little reluctant to bring me in at this juncture. There are issues with the porosity of the building. It is both open to vandalism and it's also open to weather at this point, which does concern me.
Understood. Thank you, sir. No further questions.
All right. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Joe, thank you. Thank you for the format, and thank you for just what you've done over the years. I just want you to know how important it is that your job in keeping us informed with these items. And my question really is, are there any other items that may be dormant, that may be just lying out there that hasn't been touched for a while? And if so, is it possible to include it? I think it was the engineer that maybe has included some items that were dormant or...
Well, that is the idea behind the summary section. So going forward from here, and within that summary section, I will give you some updates. One that I didn't feel really belonged on the report in this month, but to bring you up to speed, we had Dr. Landry looking at some new work at his property. I did have a meeting with him last week regarding how this would stage out and how we're going to actually put this together. And as part of that meeting, I did talk to him about wrapping up any open permits that we have. Those have been open for quite some time, and that I won't be issuing permits unless we're wrapping up the other ones first. So I expect to be finaling that structure in the near future, and then getting set up for the next phase for what he wants to do over there.
And I think items like that, it's useful for the council to know that there are outstanding issues that you still have to deal with before even this new project that he's proposing.
I wouldn't classify it as an outstanding issue, sir. It is an open permit where work has continuously been going on throughout over that project. But I'm reluctant to issue new permits. I'd rather take the work, hit a finite line in the sand that we've got this far, and then anything that remains roll into the new permit, so that we just keep it clean, neat, and keep that accountability going.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned the word accountability, because that's the whole purpose of the format that we have. Because we as a council should be able to look at in any month's report and know all the outstanding items, and can look at the report to know the items that are dormant. We can look at the items that are still lingering out there. So I'm sure that as you gain more and more strength, this will
actually
improve.
get longer in the next few
Right.
months.
And that's what we're looking for, and that's what we've gotten from the other departments. We've gotten a more complete, up-to-date list. So thank you for what you've done so far.
My pleasure. Anything for anybody else?
No questions?
Yep, well, thank you, sir, for your time.
Thanks for coming.
All right, our next item, page 42, is our town engineer's report. See if we have any questions, we can direct those to our town manager. If not, we'll proceed forward.
I do have a comment.
Okay?
Yeah, I was going to.
Yeah. Mr. Davenport, when he was checking on the quiet zone, we don't need $300,000 to upgrade the gates.
Right.
Because the calculation that was made didn't require that. So basically, we're just biding time until we can recalculate from the accident. Now, wayside horns, I'd looked into wayside horns.
Right.
They're great for everybody but the street they're on.
Right. That's right.
So
Yeah, projects,
Jefferson
yeah.
Street, you would get 90 decibels right at your front door with a wayside horn. So,
Slightly less than the 120 they're getting now, but that's
right. So we'd have to be careful with that. But we just need to sit back, Joe, and figure out how long we need to wait and then resubmit.
You know, I'm glad you raised it, because I was going to raise it if you didn't. First of all, I think he doesn't understand that there is a county resolution in effect. Back in your day, I believe it was before Mr. Canlon. I forget who the John Stirrup, perhaps. So there is a resolution, and the town of Haymarket, in that resolution, are the folks managing the quiet zone application. So he needs to understand that. Perhaps he wasn't around then, but the town does manage that. Number two, we did get a sufficient amount of money from the state coffers, the VDOT, through some federal grants, and we did make those improvements at a number of grade crossings. The problem is there was one grade crossing that did not qualify. Our previous town manager, he did submit through a VDOT grant. We haven't heard anything back about that. And the other problem is, as you say, John, is the calculation for the index, the safety index to qualify for a grade crossing quiet zone. So we have to wait and see if we can get either some money for that or they do the flyover. That's really where we're at. But it doesn't hurt to leave it open.
Yep.
But
Okay. Any further comments on the engineer's report? Otherwise, we'll be going to our...
Yes, I'm sorry. One more thing. They did fix that, the pedestrian access at 15 and Washington. So Kathy and I blazed the trail there the other day, and it's easier to get across now. So thank you to VDOT for doing that.
Good. Yeah. All right. No further comments. We'll go to our police report. Chief Lands, how are you, sir?
All right, so you have the report in front of you. You see the breakdown of the statistics for the month. Didn't go into a whole lot of graphs and stuff. I think you guys have gotten a lot of stuff from me over the last month that will kind of fill in those blanks, trying to cut down on some of the stuff you get. Unless you want to see those graphs, then you just let me know. And then below that is just some things I want to go over. Your officers attended some VTEN training this month, so that they're able to use the MDCs in the cars. They did that, and we did a lot with the VDOT detail. We want to talk about the DDI. We had the final switch a couple weeks ago. We had officers there that first day. As I informed you guys, we had several going the wrong way. We had some people taking turns where they weren't supposed to go, and so we did issue several warnings. I think it was prudent of VDOT to have two officers out there in that first weekend. We did stop some possible accidents from happening. We've monitored it, early morning and late afternoon every day since. We have had no accidents out there, so people seem to be adjusting to it well. We're working with Prince William County now on a graph, a chart that will go on our computers, so when an accident does happen, we can just pull it up and easily chart what's going on. It's a confusing intersection to draw up. And what we're worried about and working on is where they come together on both sides. If you have an accident right there, which is where you're probably going to have your accidents, that ties up everything. There's no way to go around that at this point. So we're working on a plan of doing a quick graph, taking photos really quickly if it's not a major accident, and moving off to the side of the road after we can reconstruct it through photos. So we're going to work and work to kind of develop a plan that gets everybody out of those intersections quick and fast. So, but everybody seems to be running smooth with that now. Then we attended the business roundtable that Denise put on, where I was introduced along with the town manager. And that went well. We got a lot of good feedback from the businesses. That was a good meeting. I think Denise did a good job there. The new business check cards. Right now the guys are putting their business cards in there, but I've ordered, and they'll be here probably by the 8th, our new business property check cards that are specifically say property check cards. With on the back has the date and time and what the officers observed. If nothing, all your doors were secured. If there's a problem, they can write it down and say, please call the police department. Then each night, the officers put it on a rundown to all of us. What is the problem, if they found one, and then when the business owner calls, I can pass it on to them. We have gotten a huge response off of that. One, I'd like to point out, Jason Davis, Officer Davis, he hit all the churches on a Saturday night because they come in on Sundays, and the pastor of St. Paul's emailed me. I think I forwarded it on to you guys. He reached out and said he really appreciated that. Jason saw some problems there and pointed them out with some headstones that were tipped over. So they're working really, really well. We're getting a good response off of it. So once the new cards that are specific for that, people will start to understand a little more what they are. Right now, they just see a police officer's business card and wonder what's going on. So these will explain it a little more. But again, we've gotten a huge response off of it. The daily rundowns. So you guys know I'm packing you with a lot of information, and we'll pare that down as we go. But we're doing a whole lot of community outreach right now. I'm really pushing the guys to do that. I'm happy to report that they are responding fantastically. The guys are out there every day. You can see by the reports what they're doing. So our day shift guys go into the businesses and talk and make contact with the owners. I require that they give me a name, who they talk to, give me a little bit about the conversation. So it just engages the officer in that. The business owners are really responding, saying that they appreciate them coming in. They were a little concerned at first, what's going on, but everybody's getting used to that now. And then the night shift guys, they will rattle doors, check windows, walk the businesses. So we're getting a whole lot of feedback between the day shift and the night shift guys on what's going on. So a couple highlights I wanted to point out for our officers. Of course, I talked about Jason Davis. I want to bring up a specific thing with Greg Breeden, and he was doing a business check at Food Lion the other day, and one of our residents had passed out in the parking lot. He was right there. He stayed with her all the way through. The rescue squad got there. They took her to the hospital. They addressed her concerns. She came back the next day in person and just wanted to thank the Haymarket Police Department, and in particular Mr. Breeden, for the things that he had done and stayed with her and talked with her. So I wanted to point that out for you guys to know that your officers are working hard. And then 2 weekends ago, Sergeant Shaver and myself attended Battlefield High School for the technology fair they had there. We brought all the cool stuff that we have, but I think the thing that got everybody was the taser. Every time I would take all the probes off and just pop it, like all the kids just came to our table, and people were like, "We'd like some kids over here too." So it was really, really good. I'm glad that they invited us. That we had a huge response from the kids and the parents alike. So we're out in the community. We have 4 or 5 things we're doing this month, and I think 2 of them are just outside town. There's a lot of influx of requests coming in for the town to speak at places just outside of town because they know that we'll do it. And so we're here. We're trying to be a good representation of the town. I think you can tell by your rundowns the officers are working really hard for this town. So, are there any questions of me at this time?
Just a couple, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Chief, good job.
Thank you, sir.
I like the new business check cards. I've gotten some reports from business owners that it's working. The daily report is good as far as I'm concerned. Any update on the body cams?
Body cams are working great. The guys are on them. You know that they're deployed now. So I monitor 4 or 5 videos a day on different officers, and everybody's working good. They're activating them when they're supposed to. They're not missing anything. They're working well.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else on here? This side? That's right. Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it. Okay. Our next is Susanna Smith, page 46 in our packet. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening, ma'am.
Town Attorney. So, busy month. We're, of course, I guess the first ones to get hit when things start to get ready to happen, in the warmer months. And, we've got a lot of phone calls, lots of emails, lots of people interested in submitting something. A good number of submissions that are coming forward for ARB and Planning Commission. We've got 2 things going to BZA next month. It's very busy. So the task list, if you guys have any questions about anything specific that I put on that.
I do have a question, if I may.
Yes.
I notice on here you're doing active board recruitment,
Yes, we
and
are.
that's for the BZA?
Please.
Okay, so you could use some help on the BZA, which really doesn't meet that often, right?
Yeah, they only meet when there's an application, that's correct.
Okay.
They're tasked with reviewing appeals
Okay.
from the decision of the zoning administrator. There are variance applications, somebody can't meet a setback because of where their buildings are located, things like that. And so they're sort of, they should be short, sweet, and to the point, those reviews. They really shouldn't be long and involved.
But we need some help.
We need some help. We
Okay.
have 3 members. 3 is the minimum that we have in order to have a quorum. We have 5 positions, so we have 2 vacancies.
Say that again. Two
2 vacancies
vacancies.
out of 5.
I just wanted to say it again.
Correct.
Yes,
Only
not
two.
one, but two.
Only.
Yes.
So yes, we've been asking for this for several weeks, and yeah,
Good.
it'd be great.
Well, we'll get the word out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just one point. Susan, thank you so much. I would like to see a heading on this task list, because I was going through it. I'm wondering if is this a town manager's? No, it's not her.
Oh, you want my name? You want
No, just the title,
Yeah.
because each of them had.
Engineers report,
Let's
planning
say
report.
planner.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
See,
at
I
the
have it
bottom.
at the bottom. I have it at the bottom. But at the top 2 would probably.
Oh, please.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
He's
I
OCD.
guess I
He
had
needs
to be
consistency.
different. I'm sorry. But yeah, I can add that, sure.
I think that was the only thing I had underlined here, need appointed. I thought you had reached out to that one person's name that I had given you last.
I did have someone that actually did follow all the way through and then decided, I think her children, if I remember, I've talked to so many people about these positions and either don't hear back from them, or the one that I really thought was going to do it, something happened. And
Okay.
she said, actually, my time is now committed and I can't do it. So
I'll give you the name again. There is a gentleman that lives on Hunting Path that I spoke to about it, but I'll give you the name again.
Right.
I can't give you here in public. I'd rather give you.
okay. Can you email it to me? That'd be awesome. If you could email it to me, that'd be awesome. Because that way I can
Maybe
follow
he'll
up
talk to you at
even
the end
on
of this meeting.
Okay. Somebody here?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just one question. On Foster's Grill, NOV, next step, what's NOV?
Notice of violation. Yeah, the gentleman was awarded an approval for his lighting over the signage that is compliant, and over the other one if he can make it compliant. And so we've gone back and forth with emails, and he's come in when I wasn't here, and so we've talked. He knows that it's not, and I've given him a warning. I gave him an email warning, basically, and I left him a voicemail and said, this is the next step. So a notice of violation will have to go out because it's been,
If I can, Susanna, there's different regulations for both the sides where the signs
Yeah.
are. So he's in compliance on one and violation on the other.
right. The 15, the Highway 15 side, he's good. The one on Washington Street is too large.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
for this rundown and task list, one question for you. Under Z companies, the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down, 2016-037.
Right.
I see a notice of a demolition of 2 buildings in town core. Can you familiarize me with where these
Well,
these
yes,
2
this
buildings
is the
are?
firehouse and then
Okay.
the old bungalow. It's not
Okay.
terribly old, that's
Beautiful.
fronts on Jefferson.
Okay, now I'm correlated with it. Then another one for you. Under John Marshall Commons, I know we originally sent our comments in to them,
True.
and the Prince William County Planning Commission pushed it off their agenda, and I see that we are meeting with them again. Do you know when that meeting is?
We have not gotten a date and time when everybody can be there that wants to be in on that meeting.
Could you
So
reach
we're
out to me
still-
and the chairman of the Planning Commission?
That
when
you would
that
also
meeting-
like to be there?
I know that I would, and I'm sure the chairman would like to be there as
I will
well.
do that, yes, sir.
And then the last question for you, under again 1 mile review, Heathcote Tire and Auto. Where is this located?
This is just to the north of the town.
Okay.
Okay. This one, actually, Holly's been very active on giving some comments back. It isn't really the Heathcote Tire and Auto per se, but it's the larger parcel that it's a part of.
Okay.
There's a shopping center that's planned on Heathcote, just north of town, that backs up to a property that VDOT wants to put, or has talked about putting a park and ride.
Okay.
They're going to have an exit, though, on, I guess, Jefferson, and so it will impact our stoplight.
Excellent.
So those are the kinds of comments we're feeding back to them.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
Anyone else? Nope. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care. Our next item is Denise Andrews. And we are on page 48 of our packet.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Yes.
Good evening.
Just a few updates. A friendly reminder that Saturday, February 18th, will be the Serve Our Willing Warriors annual fundraiser, the Monte Carlo night at Dominion Valley. They are still in need of volunteers for that evening. So if you know someone or if you are interested in volunteering, I have that information. It's also in my report who you can contact. The town will be donating again this year a basket for the silent auction, which will have a lot of town swag in the bag. The 2017 town-sponsored events, the dates are set for those. The first one will be Earth Day, which will actually be on Earth Day this year, which is Saturday, April 22nd. The Health and Fitness Day will be Saturday, June 10th. National Night Out is Tuesday, August 1st. Our annual Haymarket Day, Saturday, September 16th, and our Haymarket Holiday Celebration will be on Saturday, December 2nd. I am still in, staff is still in negotiations with several businesses for our title sponsor. We do not have one as of yet, but I anticipate we will be having one soon. Mid-month February, the museum will, the volunteers and myself will be meeting for our, preparing for our 2017 season, which will actually start on Earth Day, and then we will officially open Saturday, I believe it's May 3rd, May 6th this year. I think it's May 6th. So we're still looking for more volunteers. We've reached out to the local universities and colleges. Actually, we reached out to about 26 this year. So hopefully we'll get some good interns over the summer. We had 3 great ones this past summer. And so we're still looking for more volunteers for the weekend. The Town Business Roundtable was, I believe, a huge success on Wednesday, January 25th. We had a lot of positive feedback from the town businesses. I think we had maybe 1 or 2 residents in attendance, but that was probably our second largest attendance that we've had so far. And the feedback of having it at an actual business location was great. I've already been reached out to by several business owners wanting to have the next roundtable in April at their location. So that's going very well. The TANV meeting is coming up on Wednesday, February 15th. It will be at our town restaurant Giuseppe's, and that will be from around 12 noon to 2 p.m.
Also, Denise, could I just see a show of hands of how many of the council looks like they might be able to attend?
Yes, because I will definitely need head count by the 8th.
Yeah, so there you got at least 5.
5.
Yeah,
Okay.
and of course, we'll give notice as well.
Is that required?
Yeah. Good.
Far away.
Thank you.
And then as far as media coverage, I actually have 2 publications that the town was in. The first one is the February edition of Haymarket Lifestyle. Actually, one of our staff wrote this article, The Tale of 3 Homes, and I'll pass it around.
Danielle, great.
She's a great writer. And the Haymarket Lifestyle is circulated over 15,000 homes in the local Haymarket area. Also, the second is in the Prince William Living, which this magazine is actually distributed on the eastern end as well as the western end of the county. So it gives the history of our town.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
And both of these publications are in the vestibule of the town hall, so you can pick up both publications. Any questions from council?
I would just like to make a few comments. Thank you for your hard work. I was going to wait till the end, but since we have a full house tonight, I might as well say it now. The senior class from Battlefield High School came to the ARB meeting, and they are still interested in doing a project with the town. So our projected date is Earth Day, and they're going to help us up at the park and maybe moving some of the stuff from storage and moving it over there. I'm going to email them and see how many students they plan on having, so if everyone could be thinking of projects and things that we could get done on that day, that would be great.
Okay, thank you.
I think we saw an open trailer that we could use to transport
Right.
the stuff, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, you stole my thunder, because I was going to ask if we could incorporate it, so that's great. We
Yes,
did. We
we already
moved the house
discussed it.
last year, right?
Yes.
And And so if we could incorporate some kind of a project up there, that would be super. I agree with that.
Your class would like to do this as an annual thing
Yeah,
from
good.
the high school, and
That's good. That's positive. Hey, I wanted to say one thing about the roundtable, the business roundtable. That's the first time I was downstairs at his location, and it was like a coffee shop down there. And I don't think, like with music, guitar, whatever. And I think it's a really nice place, and I have to get over there. I don't know if the chief made it that Friday night or not, but I'd like to get there when there's some music playing, and they need to advertise more and let people know that they're there.
Gave the impression of a small comedy club.
Hit the younger
Yeah,
generation.
well, that's okay. Yeah, right. I'm still young at heart. I mean,
Battlefield High School has an open mic there, I believe, twice a month, and that place is packed. I've gone to several concerts
I didn't know
there,
that.
and
cool.
it's a great facility. It looks really nice.
I wonder if they could use a rhythm guitarist.
Yeah.
Yes? Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments for Denise?
For title sponsors, we might want to reach out to Sheets. I heard some of the people here this evening.
It sure does.
We could name a park after him, Yep, I can see, right. Yeah,
So a couple-
absolutely.
Couple
Yeah.
chairs. Yeah.
Of course, there's anything on the agenda.
Great. All right, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Denise.
Our next item is our town manager's report. Ms. Kimberly.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors. Pleasure to be here tonight. I'd like to first introduce our new treasurer, Roberto Gonzalez. He started with us in early January. We are very pleased to have him on board. He is from our wider Haymarket community, just outside the town limits. He has over a decade of accounting experience in the private sector, including project management and controller duties for construction-related companies. And he's very interested in working with us and broadening his knowledge of municipal finances, and he's been fitting in very nicely with our group. And he's here tonight.
I certainly would love to hear from him, too.
no pressure.
Denise did update you. We are having our TNV meeting very shortly. I'd like to say that the town of Leesburg is coordinating the meeting with us. And the guest speaker is going to be Beth Erickson. She's the president and CEO of Visit Loudon. And we're also going to get another update on legislative items as well. I do want to report that Vice Mayor Passanello, Councilor Edwards, Danielle, I could pronounce her last name. Danielle,
Right.
wonderful author of the article. We all attended VML Day a couple of weeks ago in Richmond, which stands for Virginia Municipal League. We got to meet with our senator, Senator Black, along and shared his time with the town of Leesburg. As a matter of fact, it just happened that way. But we both shared the same concerns and voiced our support and opposal for several different bills that are at our State House right now. And I was just pulling up the latest and greatest on some of the things that we were tracking and realized there's quite a lot of information. So I'm not going to go over every single activity with you, but just to let you know, some of the things that we're tracking is the wireless infrastructure bill that the town is continuing to oppose. It's H. Bill 2196 and Senate Bill 1282. And as written, how it works is if it was passed, it would allow wireless companies to come in and bypass the local permitting process in our rights-of-way and all, similar to, in effect, what utilities do now with providing electricity and all that. And some of us feel that there should still be a local permitting process in our right-of-way for cellular communications. Another bill is also related to broadband, but in a different way, and it's H. Bill 2108. What this is it discourages public-private partnerships for broadband providers in a community because a competitor may be able to obtain proprietary information and trade secrets. So we'd like to not support that as well and be able to open it up to the market to provide broadband opportunities in our communities as well. The other one relates to continued funding for 599 for our police services. It's kind of looking like it's going to get cut, unfortunately, to municipalities. We're not sure on the exact percentage yet. We're going to try to find out if we can get, a rough number to be able to budget that for fiscal year 18, because we do rely on that funding for some of our budget for our public safety department. Let's see, and then there's others on the Airbnb bill, which we're following, which relates to transient occupation.
It was very
in our-
interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's very
was
interesting,
really
a little
interesting.
confusing to follow, and if anyone would like more information, let me know. We did hear of a community that's actually implemented an ordinance related to that, so
City of
we'll be
Blacksburg.
tracking that as well. And, there were several others as well. We'll keep you posted in my weekly reports to you. I also attended the Northern Virginia Regional Commission meeting with our Northern Virginia town and city managers to discuss the upcoming budget. That was really nice to meet with them. Regarding things going on in town itself, Chief and I have been meeting regularly to coordinate different opportunities and things that we're both working on together, and that's been really wonderful. We're hitting the budget right now and discussing his needs for the new year, fiscal year, and looking at some of the different potential changes that he'd like to make as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. We also leased another 2 of our office spaces upstairs. We just have one of the large spaces right above us, about 1,000 square feet plus, if anyone's out there and would like to lease space from us. We also have above the Copper Cricket as well, still available for lease, and to give us a call and we'll show that to you. And we are pleased to announce we're moving forward with our website redesign. It's going to be a complete overhaul. We met, teleconference I should say, with our website consultant. They gave us some sample websites, different things that caught our eye from a design standpoint. Denise and I are working on that project. We're really excited about some of our options. It's much brighter, cleaner, lots of pictures, just really informative. So our job now is to start working on the content that we'd like to see while they work on how it's going to look and feel. So I believe on our Facebook page we've already posted if folks have any photographs of the Haymarket that they would like to share, anything at all that describes what Haymarket means to them and are willing to give those to us, please submit those to Denise and we'll take a look at them. So I'll move right into some finance updates. Roberto is here to answer any questions you have. What we presented is the report through December 31st because, like I said, of the overlap, we haven't quite reconciled through the end of January. So right now you still have through the end of December. If you have any questions on that, we can both answer those for you. I am working on the fiscal 2018 budget. Right now, we're tentatively planning on the budget presentation for March 20th. It's like the third Monday, I want to say, in March. So put that on your calendars. And with the tentative adoption date of May 15th, that's what we're shooting for. The Finance Committee met January 18th. Steve Mulroy from BML, Vaco Finance, was here to explain their program. They have a really wonderful program. They're going to be running some numbers for us on some potential financing packages to explore for the new fiscal year to wrap in to be able to do the full renovations of the building. So we're looking forward to looking at that and seeing how we can accommodate that and wrap in our current debt that we have from purchasing the property over at Hairover Park. We are in a good lending position to incur some debt. We're just going to see as we work through the 18 proposed budget, and we'll continue to work with you on that. We also want to report the committee did conduct a mid-year review. At this time, do not recommend any mid-year corrections. So we're pleased to report that. The meals tax revenues are slightly above expectations. Expenses by department are on target. We may have moved around a little bit in our categories, but we're still within our targets within each department, so we're pleased to report that. And additional revenues like our B-pool revenues will be coming in April, so that's why it'll show a deficit right now.
Mhm.
So, and again, we can answer any questions you might have on the financials if you have any.
Okay. Questions?
Not a question, sir, but I just want to thank the Finance Committee working with the staff just in the work that they've done. So good job.
Chairman.
Have to do with change the chair.
Yeah.
I do have one comment. Hey, Kimberly, can you just apologize? Can you just talk a little bit about that other bill, the one that was passed in the House, and it just passed in the Senate, by the way, the one related to the SCC and the certification that they could bypass local zoning for facilities?
Let me see if I have an update. I do.
Okay. If not, the key point that I want to make about
Sure.
it is that it did pass both the House and the Senate. I guess crossover is next week sometime, from what I understand. It's very likely that the governor will sign that bill. Now, it doesn't directly impact us up here. It was really developed for communities, a couple of communities down in Southern Virginia with Appalachian Power. But it appears that DVP might have an opportunity to utilize that if there's an amendment to this bill. It calls for that for 138 kV, right? Is that what it was, 138, I think it was?
Yes, I think it was.
So you could bypass the local zoning on facilities. It's not a stretch to think that it could be changed to 240 kV.
It opened the door for that.
Right.
And that was our concern,
Right.
was that it could, if it passed, it could potentially
Right.
open the door.
So it's passed so far through the Assembly. The question is the governor going to sign it? I think it's likely he will, but it wouldn't hurt for members of our council, our community, to reach out and try to talk to some of the folks down in Richmond, particularly the governor's office. I spoke with Janine Lawson about this afternoon. We need to keep up the pressure on and see if we can get this turned around. Otherwise, it could be a problem in the future. So just wanted
We're
to throw
happy
that
to
out there.
provide more information, anyone who's interested. We could even provide links on the website if that's of use for folks.
Okay. All right. Just over to the mic. Let's get her mic.
It's my understanding that under 15.2-2232, that towns, counties, localities, when presented with improvements to utilities, have the opportunity to say whether or not it's in alignment with their comprehensive plan. And I wondered if this proposal would supplant that or change that in any way.
I'm not familiar with 15-2, whatever you said, but
15.2-2232,
Okay.
it's basically an allowance in state law that when presented with an improvement or upgrade to utilities, including wireless communication facilities, the town, county, locality has the opportunity to approve it or not based on whether or not it's in alignment with their comprehensive plan.
well,
Sure.
go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
I don't know the answer to the question of whether it's going to amend 15.2-2232, the public facilities review, but we can look at that and get back to council on that.
Okay. All right. Yep. Anyone else? You have anything else, Ms. Murray?
No, that was it.
Okay, great.
We get Roberto next month?
Yeah.
Ask him a question.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. All right, we'll move on to our agenda items, which brings us up, we're on page 4, which will be the Sheets final site plan. Looks like we do have a draft motion in here on page number 4.
Ready? Is this what I want to use, right? No, this is the new one.
Oh, yeah.
No, but up here.
Mayor, would you like Suzanne to give you
Yeah, why don't we just give a little overview so that way we're real comfortable in what we're doing here.
I passed out at your chairs tonight. We did find a typo on the bond estimate. The last item in the packet was $54,790, and what I just did was I just literally Xeroxed the page from the front cover of the plans. It should have been $64,000.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That was just a minor update. Did you all have any questions for me at all?
Nope.
I move that the town council approve the bond amounts as submitted for final site plan SP 2014-0220, Haymarket Sheets Convenience Store, final site plan prepared by Gordon and dated December 15, 2014, revised through January 11, 2017.
Second.
Motion on the floor and seconded by Councilman Morse. Discussion on the motion. Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Morris.
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Casanello.
Aye.
Aiken.
Yes.
There you go. All right, great. Congratulations there. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
would you like the representatives of Sheet just to give you a summary of the construction schedule, just to alert any of the public that may be listening tonight?
Absolutely,
That's a good
absolutely.
idea.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Will my sheets
Yeah.
of cards still work?
Great.
It was very helpful at the planning commission meeting.
right.
Short straw?
Short straw.
Good evening, with John Maxwell with Sheets Engineering and Permits. Just a general overview. If you have questions, I'll try to answer those. But plan is to start clearing the site where we're going to put the new store here in March, and then we would begin construction of the new store behind the existing store in April, mid-April, and that would take us through. The new store would open in September, mid-September, the new store opening. We would have gas continued with the old store while the new store is being built behind the gas on the 15 side. That wing would be closed around March 20th, I think is what we're planning right now. And then the front wing would stay open until September 18th, around mid-September. And then we would be out of gas from mid-September. This is the period I think you were most interested in. We'd be without the gas from mid-September to November. So about a period of eight, about a period of 8 weeks.
8 weeks, okay.
So we can inform our chief to look into a directive in regards to, for a mere fact that our police cars, we fill up at Sheets with our Sheets card. So Chief Lands, if we could direct you to look into other fuel sources to be able to fuel our cars, unless you want to do a rationing and give them a 5-gallon container. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any more? I was going to say, we have some questions. Yeah, so
That's it.
you've done this many a times. You probably have a good idea, I mean, as far as like for us in planning for budgets and stuff like that, I mean, do you see like during this period of time a certain decrease in sales and I mean, obviously you won't have any.
Engineer.
Yeah.
I understand.
He just got this look on his face.
I throw that out there so that way we get the right person to answer the question.
Good evening. My name's Alan Stevens. I'm in the real estate department. So the answer is yes. I'm not exactly sure what that drop in sales is, but as I mentioned last week, we just recently did this in Winchester and Stevens City. And during the time of the construction, it's a busy lot. So parking spaces are cut down, and so not as many customers can make it on the site. So there is a time during that construction where we do see reduced sales numbers.
Okay.
For both gas
And food?
Yes, because like John had mentioned, it's at one point, currently we call them wings, pumps facing 50 and facing 55.
Mm-hmm.
One will be eliminated. In the end, we'll consolidate them, but there will be, we'll stay in the gas business as long as we possibly can. But there is a time when we actually replace our entire petroleum system, so we will be out of the gas business. So yes, it's not as a convenient store as it normally is, but in the end, it works out very well.
About wayfinding signage along the highway. Wayfinding signage? Are you?
Well,
gonna-
that's funny, because I talked with Virginia Logos about that, and I need to talk to him again. He didn't give me a really clear answer. Because the one thing that we were hoping to, with the changes in the driveways, we were hoping that they could sign it a little bit so that people will know if they want to go south on 15, they'll go down that new driveway. And because until then, I see people making some loops around the parking lot trying to figure out how to go south.
Yeah.
So I do need to check with him again and see if he has a plan for signing, not just for us, but for anybody in the center.
And did you find, like, in your other locations, you have, like, a diagram to actually make the pumps easier to, as far as, like, at BJ's, where you have an enter and an exit that way? Because with Sheetz, it depends always what side your pump is, your gas
Yes.
filler's on.
Good point. We don't have that. That's an interesting point. The new pump configuration, I remember a couple years ago, we had Joe Sheetz, our president, on the site, and our construction director said, could we please just go out of business for a while, take the store down, and then rebuild it? And Joe said, absolutely not. He said, there are people who want to come to the store. We're going to, and we've done this. It's rare that we will shut down our operation, so we try to keep it open as much as we can, as long as we can. But yeah, the new pumps will be a configuration. They'll be, instead of being two wings, there'll be two and 5 pumps across and 2 rows of them. So, some people have, it's tough because some people come in from one street, some come in from the other, some are on the left side, some on the right side. So they have to, well, they'll figure it out.
It just seems like when you reduce it as you're doing this transition, that if you did have some traffic flow, that, which pumps could go one way or the other, it just would help the people navigate and get them in quicker.
I think due to the construction, I think by chance, it'll probably be one way sometimes, just the way that there'll be some construction on the store.
Gotcha.
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, our store manager, I'll bring it up with him, and our district manager lives in the area.
Right.
I'll mention that to him, too, just to keep some of the confusion down.
My other suggestion or thought is longer hoses, too, to allow the pumping to be done from the one station, but to allow you to pump from the other side, like some of the gas stations do. And it's just an extension or whatever of the hose to allow it. Just trying to get them in and out fast.
I guess I should go to BJ's or
Yeah.
something.
Right, yeah. Well, okay.
But no, that's a good suggestion. I'll make sure the manager knows about that. I mean, he wants to keep the lot as orderly as possible, so that's a good idea.
If you need volunteers, it sounds like the mayor's willing.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get a sign
Traffic
from
control.
Chief Lands, and he can go out there and direct
Or
traffic.
for tips.
That's it.
For tips.
Other
I
questions?
do assume that during the whole construction and the closing, you have signage because, the Sheetz does serve a lot of the people in the community, but it's also hugely for those who are in transit because of where it's located. So I do hope that there is enough signage for those people who don't know and would probably never know that construction is going on.
Yeah, that was kind of where my question was going, Chris. With the Highway 66, is there any signage?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. I'll have to call the VA Logos again, the company that manages that program, just to understand what their plan is. Because I was more concerned about signage on site so people can get on and get off. I think he was more interested in signing from 66.
Is VA Logos owned by Sheetz?
No, VA Logos is a company that state contracts to do all the wayside.
The reason I'm mentioning this is a Sheetz issue.
Yes.
It's not a logo issue.
Right.
So it's Sheetz who should take the initiative to make sure that the customers who are coming off the highway are advised about it, not because it's one of the most popular Sheetz around and people will still come. The onus is on the company to make sure that the signage is there from whether it's coming off 66 or to the residents. I'm hearing, and maybe I'm not hearing properly, but it's being passed off back on Logos, but it should be
No, I meant
Sheetz.
this is more of a longer term. Well, we can only really sign from our property. We really can't put signs on VDOT property or right-of-way, things like that. I'm not aware that we're allowed to do that. But we could try to sign our property so that people know what's happening.
The VA logos I have seen where things are temporarily closed,
Yes,
like.
they can do that.
They
They
can put
Okay.
a thing on the,
Yes, they can.
on the signs on
So
the
I call
interstate.
VA logos, gentlemen, again, see if you can do
Yeah,
that?
they can help you out with that.
Okay.
They might be able to do a specific sign that says pumps closed or something like that for the period of time.
Yeah, this is Sheets we're talking about. This is not a mom and pop's, store. This is Sheets. Yeah, so, I mean, whatever you guys request, you should be able to put those in place for your customers.
Okay.
Because one of the things you don't want to start having is so many people exit 40 to come to get gas.
Right.
And then to know that, hey, it's closed, because that's going to just impact the Divergent Diamond, and then for them to make U-turns.
I'll let you know who I spoke with.
Okay.
He was given to me by, I think when I met VDOT the first time at the high school, they gave me his name, so maybe he's not the best or the right guy, so,
I've worked with them before, so
Okay.
we know who you talked to.
good.
Just one other clarification. When you say totally closed, there's no other way of pumping gas or bringing gas. The only reason I say that is because when we had the boil water notice, I was totally amazed that you all had a nice, clean water truck backed up to Sheets with a hose that filtered right into your main water supply. And it's like, how ingenious is this? This was one company that had really thought. So,
Well,
I didn't know.
they actually they put all brand-new double-walled sensor tanks in the ground,
Yeah.
censored double-walled lines, new dispensers. It's all brand new, so there's just no way to stay in the
To do
business
it.
while they're
Right.
doing that.
Okay, just asking. It looked like there was that lady. Did you need to say anything? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we asked that when they came. We did ask that question about it. Just one more note, and maybe it's not for you in real estate, but more for Sheets. I had a good conversation with a gentleman who, he goes around to all the different, actually from Roanoke all the way to Northern Virginia, the guy who does the measurements at the pumps. And one of the things he revealed to me was that he doesn't do this Sheets often. So he said this is one of the sheets that they could improve on. So I just want you guys to look into it in the measuring that matches how much fuel is pumped, matched up to the quantity. And that's just one of the things that...
Weights and measures.
Yeah, the weights and measurements, yes. And it's a government agency, but it was revealed.
I'm sure we're on the radar. We have a lot of stores.
Yes, but
So-
I'm just saying it to you. I'm not asking for an answer. I'm not
Sure.
asking for,
Okay.
for a justification. I'm just bringing it to you as a resident, just to look into it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very great.
Thank you,
Your
sir.
event shorted?
I don't know, man. But I lift that hose up whenever I finish.
Try to get it all out?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? There again, thank you all for coming up. I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving along here. We go into our agenda items, DVP update. I think we're still, yeah,
Nothing new,
nothing new. Yep.
except for what we talked about earlier with the SCC and those two bills.
Yep.
Other than that, nothing. Well, actually, there was a meeting over at Buckland Mills, trying to engage the residents for the Carver alternative that the hearing commissioner recommended.
Right.
And it's kind of, the horse is out of the barn, basically, but I guess they're trying to mobilize them as well, the coalition, to get them involved and to start reaching out to the SCC. So that's the latest on that.
Okay. VRE.
Yep, VRE, okay. Well, the situation with the VRE is no decision yet from the county. They're having a meeting on the 14th? Yes, the 14th. I spoke with Supervisor Janine Lawson today about that as well. They're going to make a recommendation, and we'll see how the board goes. I don't know what that recommendation is, but I reiterated the town's position today with Janine. The other thing is the Operations Board of VRE is meeting on the 17th, and so whatever comes out of the meeting on the 14th, they'll be discussing on the 17th.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Okay. And just on a side note to that, I reached out to Supervisor Canlin today just to see if there was any update or anything he wanted to share to the council. Yeah, actually, he did. But there was no update. There was nothing that he wanted to pass along. So, good. Okay, Virginia, what's it, 457, yes, plan.
Okay, I'd like to introduce David Scherer, who's the Vice President of ICMARC for the Mid-Atlantic Region Field Sales. You want to come up and sit with me? Sure.
Yep.
I'd like to also say that David Scherer is one of our Town of Haymarket residents, and so we're very pleased to have him and have him be able to answer any questions that we may have about our program. So now, we didn't know this when we first started talking about this 457 plan, but I'm familiar with the program. ICMARC works with municipalities across the country. They also teamed up with the Virginia Retirement System to be the company with the defined benefit program with the hybrid program. It's kind of a combo. And so I decided to give them a call and see if they had an opportunity to potentially offer us a program for our employees. It's called the 457 Deferred Comp Plan. And to complement our current participation with the Virginia Retirement System program, to offer another opportunity for our employees to put some money away for retirement. Now, this is all employee funds that would be put into a 457. It's not a town contribution of any kind. It's just voluntary for the employees. And it's a nice opportunity. They have great customer service. They have a lot of resources on their website, not just for retirement planning, but also to look up your fund, answer any questions, and you can have them manage it through a specific fund, or you can do your own thing if you'd like. And, you know, as we see it, as we continue to try to attract and retain professional staff, this compensation plan at no cost to the town, it's a great benefit to supplement our current retirement.
Finance Chair, you have a question?
So, did you have a question?
I did.
Oh, yes. So, anyway, David is here to answer any questions that you may have that I can't answer.
Maybe we'll get a mic for him, too, just to grab one.
Can we share?
There you go. You could do that, too. Yeah.
It appears to me this is very similar to a 401K plan in a standard non-municipal organization in that, where the town is not matching anything, the employee can put so much away tax deferred.
Correct.
When you say there's no cost to the town, there's no fees at all? I mean, for example, if a company sets up a 401K plan, the company still pays a fee to allow their employees to use that, and then, of course, the employees put their money in. I just wanted to confirm there's actually no fee or expense to the town at all.
Sure.
That is correct. Good evening. Thank you for your time again, David Scherer with ICMARC. There is no cost borne by the town. If someone elects to participate voluntarily, any costs are borne by the employee.
Depending on the vehicle that they're investing in, right?
Correct. And so the expenses associated in the plan, they range. There's approximately 47 different options. You've got passive investments, which tend to be less expensive, to more actively managed funds, and those tend to be higher. So depending upon the investment or investments that the employee selects, their costs would vary.
Okay, and this is just payroll deduction, so it's just an additional deduction that the payroll department sends to them. Again, no additional fees for transferring funds or having a separate deduction or anything. So.
That is correct. No cost.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Where do you live?
I live in the Piedmont development.
Okay.
Have
All right.
for 13 years.
Piedmont, okay. So you're outside the town limits itself, though, right?
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
Here goes our BZA.
There goes, I was thinking.
There are 6 homes over in Piedmont. Live on a cul-de-sac on 66. You still might be out. Yep.
So I did have a question for Town Manager Kimberly. So you're going to be coordinating this effort. Is that correct? That's what the resolution says.
Yes, I would
Okay.
be coordinating it, and I would probably be designating our treasurer, Roberto Gonzalez.
Okay. That was going to be my question.
Work with our
Yeah.
employees on offering the benefit. It's totally voluntary, and then we would fill out the paperwork and do a payroll deduction.
Okay, so, all right. I was going to ask why we just wouldn't designate the treasurer, but that's fine. Can you explain some of the investment vehicles you're going to recommend? Or are you, who's going to make the decision what vehicles are available?
We're not going to be making any recommendations, so we do not give advice.
No, not from that perspective,
Okay.
but, I mean, you just do the blanket 47 offering.
So what we'll
and
do
we
is-
make a decision as to what they get offered?
Well, we would offer our standard fund lineup, which consists of roughly 47 different investment choices, everything from someone picking and choose their own to what we'll call a couple different ready-made investment options, where you pick a risk tolerance or a
Like a
targeted
goal
date
maker.
fund.
Like a
Correct.
goal
And so there are an array of investments. And so it's the participants' or employees' decision where they want to do it. Now, we will provide education to employees about what their options are, what things they should consider in terms of selecting, such as their risk tolerance or time horizon, for example.
Okay, all righty. And I had one more question. Relative to the duties of the employer, the employer shall have the authority to make all discretionary decisions. Can you just explain what that means?
Well, some of the discretionary choices, you've got some services that the town can elect to provide or not, such as loans. You do not have to offer loans. However, they are available in a governmental 457 plan.
Right.
You can offer which we call managed accounts, which will provide advice to employees in terms of where to put their dollars. Those are just a couple of the various services that you could or could not elect to adopt if you wish.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Just a couple. Thank you for coming. I just had a couple questions. 2.15 and 2.19, are they contradictory? They could probably just be simple answers. 2.15.
Normal retirement age versus retirement. I think that's, isn't that codified?
Maybe it's just the language.
Isn't that codified in the code, I think?
I believe if you go down to the second paragraph under 2.15, it talks about alternative normal retirement age may not be earlier than 65.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
And not me later than
70 and a half, correct.
And there's one more. I think you answered it a while ago when Joe asked the question. I think it's 8.02, beginning at 8.01, the availability of loans to participants, which I think that's something that the town manager would be administering to see if the town would even entertain this.
We were not looking into
Okay.
any of the additional services that ICMARC offers. We were just going to offer the 457 retirement plan.
Perfect. The reason I didn't like the entirety of 8.01 was mostly because it gets a little bit murky when you start, when you have to pay out certain amounts to people, and then, there's a loan that's attached to it. So that was the only thing that kind of, irked me. So, thank you.
Other questions?
Is there a downside?
That's a good question.
So just to give you some background, back in 2001, the rules changed to allow 457 plans to offer loans, which you would find in the 401k world, so that they're more equivalent to them. There's pros and cons to offering loans.
I'm not talking about
Oh,
loans.
okay.
I'm just talking the whole program.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already said we're not doing loans.
Okay.
So that's out. Without the loans, is there a downside?
No, I've never had anybody tell me that they've saved too much in terms of retirement savings.
Good.
Just one
Same
more.
as
sir.
any other investment, it can go, it's a risk and it can decline in value.
But I think your question is there a risk to the town?
Right.
No, there's no risk. The risk is all borne by the participant in terms of the investment that they select.
There's just administrative time, and
That
you
is
have
correct.
to just work the program.
But obviously an added benefit to the employees.
Right.
Yep.
I just have one, sir. Sorry.
There was something else.
With the plan, is there any way that your company ensures that participants have a legal will?
No, we don't do any of that type of work.
Okay, so is that something that we could, Kim, is that something that we could ensure is in place for staff members? Because there's a lot of repercussions coming from it as far as, who gets the benefits, if we can just ensure that the staff member who's enrolled.
Usually there's a beneficiary. It's part of the paperwork that you have to designate.
Okay.
That's just like a life insurance policy, so that has to be filled out with the paperwork.
Okay.
I'll be your beneficiary.
I would just like to say that my spouse has used ICMA, worked for a different jurisdiction, and I found it nothing but easy to work with. The online services were easy. If you had to call in and get, talk to people, if they didn't know it was a good program to work with, so.
You're his beneficiary?
Well, yeah, but. No. He's since left that. It's been rolled over into something else.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I do have one more. I don't want to belabor it, and I imagine we'll want to talk about this in the Finance Committee, but I noticed that there was this 5.03 about sick vacation and back pay, about participants deferring all or portion of the value of the participants' accumulated sick pay. I'm not sure if, it's not really your thing, but it's more of an internal, I think, discussion that we might want to have. I'm not sure how that impacts our budget.
Employers so elapsed.
Yeah. So not sure how we're going to proceed with that, but I think we need to have that discussion.
Okay, I'll read through that.
Okay.
Get back to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. Absolutely.
So are we going to move on that tonight?
We have to make a motion, so she's.
Kimberly, you were looking for us to adopt this?
Yes, you have a draft resolution before you.
Right.
It's
Okay.
a form resolution that ICMARC prepares. If you so choose, we can edit it, but I think it explains everything and is satisfactory.
I'll entertain a motion from the floor.
Sir, before we move there, is there any questions that were posed tonight that would hinder the motion?
No,
Is there any research that you probably need to do for us that would hinder it?
No, not at all. There's some additional paperwork that I need to sign is part of this, but the resolution is the only thing you need to adopt. And I've gotten some good comments tonight in the direction you want to go on some of the additional services that we could offer, none of which I was going to suggest we move into. I was thinking of a straight vanilla 457 plan option.
Okay. All right. That's a good question.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It looks like if someone was to entertain and say the motion, we could streamline this to basically give the town manager permission. Sure, absolutely.
So the form of the motion would be to approve the suggested resolution for a legislative body relating to a 457 deferred compensation plan as provided to you on your dais this evening.
There you go. We've got a so moved by Councilman Morse, and then seconded by Vice Mayor?
Oh, I'll second.
Yeah, I think he was just waiting. Okay. Motion by Morse, Vice Mayor second. Discussion on the motion. Okay, we'll go roll call vote, please.
Morris.
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
Edward. Yes. Lee.
Yes.
Passanella.
Aye.
Aiken.
Yes.
Great, super. All right.
But you got the motion?
Yes, yep.
Form of the motion.
Form of the motion, correct.
Form of the motion.
All right. Moving on, I think we're down to our closed session. Actually, if we wanted to do council member time, why don't we go ahead and do that as we've done in the past? Councilmember Cole.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. I've got just two quick things. The Jefferson Street, we haven't, a lot of the action on Jefferson Street is going to be VDOT dependent and things like that. And when I spoke with Amy, I was telling her kind of the history of the speed hump, and, that took a good number of years. But I really think we need to re-engage. I mean, the traffic has increased. Just when I was there talking to her, the cars are coming down. We've got school buses now getting passed by cars. And thank you to the chief. We got, 2 tickets recently? So it's, and I think you mentioned to her about maybe they give up their street parking, and there's little resistance on that, but we could talk about maybe making the street a little safer. But I think we need to re-engage with VDOT at a minimum and get one of their guys to come and look at the street and at least say, hey, here are 3 things you can do immediately that will slow traffic or help to contain it to some degree. And I think at a minimum, 2 more speed bumps. I mean, it's just what you've got to do. The problem with speed bumps is if they're not positioned properly, people speed up between them. And so you want to get it in the right spot. And I think, it's going to be a long time, but I think we need to start again. It's just too busy down there. The second item, I had a town resident stop me. He lives on St. Paul Drive. He does not have FiOS. Now, I remember the whole FiOS thing that went on for years, and he actually emailed Verizon, and they basically told him in the email, and I read the email, that they have enough business that they want, and they don't really want to generate any more business. Now, in our experience, when we were negotiating with FiOS, they were not willing to give us the, and proffers is not the right word, but it was the giving the town a free channel and that sort of thing. They weren't willing to do that for us, and it got ugly and for years languished, and then they just stopped talking to us. I don't know how we would reengage if we want to reengage. Right. So, like, I've got FiOS on my street. St. Paul's doesn't, and
How do you have FiOS on your street?
But you only have data, not
yes,
TV.
I don't have TV.
Correct.
So, I mean, and he doesn't have anything.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just kind of raising the issue, and I think it gotten to one point where in our negotiations we were pretty generous to FiOS, and they still didn't want to talk to us. So.
Yeah, we were looking for, if I remember correctly, the state's, what they were giving the state, and we thought, well, we should get what the state gets, but we were holding off, and you remember there was some discussion about how they tear up yards, and they did that in Fairfax County, and they didn't, so it was really killed here on the Dias level, that the reason why we didn't go ahead and take their terms, which at the time, yeah.
Right. I don't know. I'm just.
Yep.
We have reached out to, David and I both reached out to several high-level people in the organization, and we keep getting the answer that they have spent all of their money to penetrate new areas.
Right, that's exactly
and
what
they
it comes down
are right now just looking to expand their current areas, that they're not expanding at the moment into new areas. They just don't care. We're too small. The profit isn't there. Profit margin isn't there. Now, while without our permission, they can come into town and lay cable in service high-speed internet, no TV, in which they've done in a couple of areas, there doesn't seem to be much interest in them doing that in the subdivisions. They're doing that in certain high-traffic areas for whatever reason. I mean, if they would come in and just do data in the whole town, well, then, once that's there, it's a flip of a switch to do TV. And we could then approach them a lot easier to say, well, why don't you just do that? But until they spend that money, they just have no incentive to come in here for the couple hundred homes that they might get.
Okay. I just want to
So
get
we have tried
the
multiple
current story.
times.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, Councilwoman Edwards.
Nope, I did mine earlier, thank
Great.
you.
Councilman Aiken.
It's been a month since the new chief has been here, and I must say that I am very impressed with the reports we're getting The community outreach has been phenomenal, especially in the middle of winter. Granted, it's a warm winter, but still, middle of winter, I'm just very, yeah, exactly, 3 inches or 3 feet of snow next week. I'm very impressed with the way things are going and the community's reception of the outreach and the activities going on. And I just have high hopes for this spring and summer when it'll just be even more. So thank you, Chief.
Councilman Morse.
Thank you, sir. I just want to officially welcome Roberto to the team. And my second point is, Kim, I believe you've been doing a great job. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Vice Mayor.
Yes. I'll echo those sentiments. Both Chris, Councilman Morris, and Councilman Aiken. I'm very impressed by the PD. No surprise that I've always felt we needed to get value for our budget and for our money, and you keep doing what you're doing, and it's really selling, marketing, getting out there, getting to know who our people are in our community is so important. So I applaud you for that. And congratulations, unfortunately, to the New England Patriots. But I was rooting for the underdog, so I figured I'd get that out there.
Well, with that, Councilman Leak.
Thank you, Mayor.
Probably displaying.
Take your jacket off.
Yeah.
Great, you can take your shirt.
Take this off real fast.
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
There's a missing jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
I thought this was Redskins Nation here.
Yeah, when they're winning.
Mayor, thank you. I want to give you a quick update with the PC in regards to our zoning ordinance. Our zoning ordinance, we're looking to do a joint work session with the council on the 27th of February, which is the last Monday of this month at 5 p.m. We really like to sit down with council and look at our planned land use map in regards to what it currently shows, as well as we have a proposed zoning map from the Berkeley Group, and then we also obviously have our current zoning map. Chairman Cottle, as well as I, have had discussions on if we make them match completely, if we just look at the complete future of the planned land use map, and then if folks are wanting to go in and change. The big areas that we're looking at right now is on Fayette Street. There are some lots there that are zoned TC, transition commercial, and as we're actually looking at that road and the amount of traffic that already goes into that road in the Sherwood Forest, we don't feel like that should be on the planned land use map as TC, and that it should remain R1 that it is as of now. The other big change that we're looking at is, or that the Berkeley Group proposed, is removing what we had changed. So if you remember, Mr. Watts had come in and was trying to get those 4 lots there between Madison Street and St. Paul as TC, put back to a TC or B1. And we went ahead and council had directed the planning commission to look into it. We had the public hearing. We changed it on the planned land use map to be TC. Berkeley Group recommended it to go to R1 on the planned land use map. We directed them that we did not feel like we wanted that we wanted Washington Street to be available for B1 or commercial, as well as the lots across from those 4 parcels, well, I guess technically 6 parcels in total between Madison and St. Paul. They're looking to change those from B1 to TC, and Planning Commission's feeling that we should keep them as B1. Since this is a recommendation to the Town Council, we'd love to have your input and inform you of those changes. I'll make sure that we get with Ms. Smith and provide you with information in regards to what our current planned land use map is, what our proposed from Berkeley Group, and then what our current is, so we can get your all's input. But if possible, we'd like to schedule that for the 27th at 5 p.m., a joint work session.
Okay.
Any comments?
Just they're a consulting group that we hire, but I'm just confused of how, I mean, basically what gives them the right to say that
It's
They'd
just,
like to say
they're
that
not
these
saying
two-
it, it's just a proposed, what they're looking at and what they're thinking. We gave the gentleman that met with us some direction, but they had just provided us with another draft. So looking through the draft over this past week, I've noticed some things that we'll need to make sure we give them clear direction. Obviously, yes, they are a third-party consultant, and we just want to make sure we give them the clear direction, but I want to make sure that we have the town council's opinions in that clear direction to this third-party group.
Right. So did they give any reason why they felt that this should be flip-flopped back to a residential on Main Street? Or
Not
did they-
really. We pretty much, what ended up happening was the gentleman brought us our updated draft with the changes that we had requested and said, please review it. So at that time, we didn't really have the time to dig into it. These are just things that we have dug into over the past week that I've noticed and other commissioners have also noticed in regards to that. Are we able to go ahead and, if everyone can look at their schedules and get back to see if we can do that work session on the 27th, would be greatly appreciated. And outside of that, spoke with two business owners at the business roundtable. One was the two owners from Everything for Her. They said that they would like us to look into the second floor, the structure of that second floor. They said that it was a little wiggly or something along those lines. I said that we would make sure that we let our building official know, and maybe if we could direct Mr. Joe Barbeau to check out the Everything for Her, speak to the owners, and really find out what their concerns are and seeing if we're able to meet those or if it's something that's not there. And the other one is Advantage Landscape. Mr. Danny, he's looking to change his zoning of his property. I told him that we would look into it at the Planning Commission, and if he wanted to come and make that change, he could submit the proper documentation to do so, but we would look at the history behind it.
Okay. Ms. Murray, did you have a question or comment?
I want to back up to the proposed zoning map. The consultant and I made an amendment to the zoning map that I'm not sure the Planning Commission discussed that night. The properties, including the Sheets, the McDonald's, the Food Lion, all that, had traditionally been zoned light industrial.
Oh, yeah.
And we've proposed that to be zoned commercial as well
Right.
as the Piedmont as well, because the front retail portion of the of the store as well. So I just want to make a note of that. I'm not sure it got discussed that night at the Planning Commission. The other comment I want to make is that we are going to be making repairs to the Everything for Her. I'm not sure it requires a building official visit. I think it just needs some repair work, but I will coordinate with Joe before he heads over there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And remembering how that was built, they used a lot of the existing flooring up on that second level. The pictures that they shared are just of that, where you had a transition of new flooring and the existing flooring, and there might have been some little areas that need to be replaced, some boards, literally. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So, nothing for me. I'll let you go ahead and bring us into closed session.
Mayor, the motion would be to move to enter closed session to discuss, to have consultation with legal counsel or briefing by staff about probable litigation involving a contract for services to the town, as consultation or briefing in open session would adversely affect the town's negotiating posture or litigating posture, as permitted by Virginia Code 2.23711A7, and also to consider the discussion of assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, specifically employees of the town, as permitted by Virginia Code Section 2.23711A1.
Okay.
So moved.
Second, discussion on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. Thank you all.
We're going upstairs?
Yeah. Okay, as we come back out of executive session, I'll have our attorney, Martin Krim, to bring us back into open session.
Your Honor, the motion would be that to the best of each member's knowledge, only those matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only those public business matters that were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in that meeting by the town council.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Ms. Andrews, if you do a roll call through us.
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Yes.
Casanello.
Aye.
Aiken.
Yes. Mr. Mayor, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
There we go. Thank you all very much.